versus Ziki will be tomorrow, along with the rest of the tiebreaker matches.
Awesome.
Alright. So, Elegant, if you could give another round of shoutouts to our sponsors before we get started.
I would be more than happy to do exactly that. Big thanks to all our sponsors, they make this possible. And I would like to personally thank Sayle's viewers for watching his adverts, putting up with his music and his singing, and giving money generously towards this tournament. Nay, Shotcoder, i.e. Noise, Prowler, Nabopolis, Ruskig, Trap, and of course the magnificent Altitude, after whom the tournament is named, and you can play their game, and I very much urge you to do so. And if you go to altitudeisl.net, which is of course the illustrious website of this very tournament, you can link straight to their website, download their game for free, and have yourself a jolly good evening.
Guys, I hear it's better than D3. Boom.
Yeah, no, I hear that too.
Anyway, alright. Gonna play the commercial then, and we can go right into the match. And I was muted.
Yeah.
Alright, guys. I just unmuted myself. Alright, once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first game of the semifinals. It's going to be dOTY versus Semih on Jade. If you could call out the positions.
I will call out the positions. In the top left-hand corner, spawning in as the white Protoss, we have ISL3 Semih, coming off a very, very strong showing so far in this tournament. Maybe a little bit of a dark horse, and also in a similar boat, ISL3 dOTY in the bottom left-hand corner as the teal Protoss. Again, a bit of a dark horse in this tournament, not backed up by a huge number of stats, but what stats he has are superb. He rarely loses, and is giving us a great showing right here. Oh, and so could you mod me in the chat as well, because people are being really ridiculous.
Indeed. Now, some very interesting notes about these players. dOTY was not even on the reserved player list for the qualifiers, so he literally just came in as a random and has made it all the way here to the semifinals. And actually, in one of the qualifiers, or rather in the qualifier that he qualified through, that sentence sounds weird, he actually beat Semih 2-0. Not only did he beat Semih, but he also beat me in the first round, which was a best of one. So I'm actually rooting for dOTY to win, because you see, if dOTY now wins the entire ISL, it actually means that I would have gotten second place, if not for him.
Yeah.
Like I should actually be the ISL3 second place finisher, but friggin' dOTY knocked me out. So you know, whatever.
Yeah. No, there's no shame in losing to. There's no shame in even losing to a semi-finalist. I mean, dOTY is looking so good after coming kind of out of the blue for a lot of people, but yeah, looking seriously awesome. And having beaten you out, he must have felt just unstoppable. You know?
I know, seriously, like taking out the PvP Bonjour in your first qualifier, like you knew he was gonna win the whole thing, man.
Did you 12 next? Did you 12 next?
I did, and he like
what?
Semi-horror gated me. I did it on a 2-player map, which is a terrible idea. he's like, oh, okay, I'll just build a gateway in his main, and then I died. Interestingly, Semih actually just checked the middle of the map for proxy gates, and then went the wrong direction to the top right. dOTY meanwhile scouted a little bit later, but is going to get a little bit lucky here and get the scout off. Looks like a little anti-mana pylon here for Semih. Looks like there's actually no similar mana location at the bottom left, so a very slight positional imbalance here, at least for PvP. But it's not the biggest deal in the world. Meanwhile, dOTY's actually gone for core first here. And is actually sending a second probe to the back of his natural. Is he going to hide some DT tech? I think it's going to be
possible.
DTs.
I mean, yeah, I can't imagine it's going to be anything else right now. And that's going to be some pretty fast DTs there. That's definitely going to be before range. Or so I would imagine anyway. Yeah, first zealot's on the way, but the probe is going to make it into his base, unless that's magic zealot, which it is not. So that probe's going to last quite a long time, and this kind of backs up the decision to place the secret tech in the natural as well. It could be a very, very long time before Semih gets out there, and before he has any reason to. He is going to see the air weapons spinning as well, so that classic old time-honoured trick of making the air weapons. For anyone who doesn't know, it is a much cheaper upgrade than the Dragoon range, so you can still proceed with your Templar tech relatively unhindered, and the Zealot's going to actually start chasing the probe, but it's alright if the probe heads to the natural, because there's no reason why it would see that tech.
Yeah, I mean, dOTY's just basically doing the textbook DT rush here, the DT cheese. And Semih, well, I mean, he's just going for Goon range, he's playing very, very standard. It's interesting, his core actually finished a little bit later than dOTY's, of course, because dOTY went for the core first, so I wonder if he might be a little bit suspicious by that. I mean, there's no real reason to be. I mean, going core first is fine on a 4-player map, but I don't know, I guess we'll see. He is sending his first 2 Zealots down to be aggressive, though. I don't think that's really going to do too much, but oh my god, this probe! This probe! Is he going to actually go to the... He's hiding so he can go back to the main. He needs to go up like 2 hexes and he'll see the pylon. Probe! Go up 2 hexes!
What?
No! Go up 2 hexes!
Oh, he goes back. It's gonna
No!
see it.
He sees it!
It scouts. It happened somehow. After hanging around down there for so long, it heads all the way back. I literally didn't see that coming at all. In the middle of that, we got a bit of an altercation, and it looks like dOTY might actually lose one of his early Dragoons right here, or at least take a lot of damage on it. He has a probe chilling at the bottom of that ramp as well for some reason, but yeah, Semih's pushing him all the way back, and Semih now knows exactly what's going to be going on, so he's going to be able to prepare pretty nicely for this. He may get a decent position. The 2 Zealots is quite advantageous when you're fighting against just the first early Dragoons right here, and he's going to be able to continue pushing dOTY back, and if dOTY loses control of his natural, that's a pretty serious issue for him, and Semih will know this, but it looks like Semih is not going to be able to get him all the way back, losing both his Zealots, whilst dOTY managing to keep everything alive there with some decent enough micro, and Semih going on upwards to 3 gates, and also making observatory as well, so he is going to be safe against this, and he should be able to mount some decent pressure, and having scouted dOTY's build, dOTY's going to have to do some jumper style DT action right here.
You know, that was some really nice micro from dOTY. He got 2 free Zealots, didn't lose a single unit of his own, but the problem is, you know, 3-gate obs is a pretty tough thing to deal with like a DT rush. That's almost getting into hard counter territory. I mean, like, honestly, I think the only way that dOTY can win this now is if Semih makes a mistake and lets a DT slip into his main and kill like 10 probes or something. Because if Semih's very careful and doesn't let that happen, and honestly he shouldn't, he should know that that's, you know, distinct possibility. He should be wary of that, you know, make sure he's got a second obs out before doing any aggression. He'll basically be able to wait for the second obs and while making a lot of Dragoons, and then just go for a nice timing attack with his Dragoons before storms are out for dOTY, and just like bust his cannon line at his natural and just kill him outright.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume that Semih's going to be pretty careful. He knows exactly what he's facing down against. And he's probably going to keep his first observer right where it should be outside his natural until he has the second one up at the very least as well. And now dOTY actually pushing in with his first couple of DTs, and this is where the danger really is. Semih's doing a decent enough job of sniping them off, and he might be able to snipe them both quite quickly, and I think this is going to work out quite nicely for Semih as well, if he can micro his Dragoons around successfully, which I think he will be able to do, and he just needs to take out the last of these Dragoons here, and I think this is probably going to be chalked down as a fail for dOTY, and Semih is soon going to have overwhelming force. If dOTY doesn't do something really smart, he's going to have to make a lot of cannons at the very least if he's going to be holding out against a 3-gate Goon build, but this could be Semih's critical error right here, moving out with all his Dragoons. He does have another observer and 1 Dragoon placed at his natural, but that's not going to be enough to defend 2 DTs on their way in, so that could be a decent little bit of a window for dOTY to do some backstabbing fun and games. But looking at it, there's only 1 cannon already up and 2 nearly in, but not quite in yet. So Semih has a decent timing window right here as well with which to actually get in and deal with these cannons. DTs are going into Semih's natural as Semih goes into dOTY's natural. Will he be able to hold? dOTY has to do some seriously good stuff to deal with this. That super high damage Dark Templar, definitely getting his money's worth for that, making it more cannons as fast as possible, but I don't think it's going to be enough right here. That Dark Templar still doing a good job, but it's finally going to be taken down right here. dOTY might manage to make it all the way into Semih's main, though, and do some decent damage.
Man, this is such a scrappy game. I mean, no high Templar tech on the way for dOTY. Just getting those cannons, just making more DTs, but it looks like the probe's coming out to try and keep this goon alive. That pylon, actually, if that gets sniped, the 3 gateways will be unpowered. That Artosis pylon could go down, but it looks like, no, the DTs are going to have to back away now, and oh man, all the cannons have gone down. I think that's going to be the end for dOTY here. He's got nothing left. He's building a 3rd gateway, but there's no way he can hold this off. He's building an emergency cannon in his main, but the DTs is not going to do nearly enough. I mean, with good hold position micro, it's, you know, melee units against Dragoons, not really going to do anything. Meanwhile, dOTY now just going to take his natural, or sorry, Semih rather, taking his natural expansion. dOTY, oh, he's got a DT coming out, doing some swipes. There's an observer there. I don't know why the Dragoons were running away.
Yeah, I think they just were seized by the panic of the moment, but more Dragoons coming up to reinforce. dOTY, he's looking a little bit toasted right now. He's got 3 gateways up and running, but his first High Templar got taken out, so he's not going to have any storm whatsoever. And his High Templar attack is going to be unpowered as well for the time being. And right in the middle of his Zealot leg speed upgrade as well. That's unfortunate because Zealots, of course, much cheaper than Dragoons when you're only making units off one base. They can actually work decently well. But I think it's going to be time up right now in game 1 for dOTY. Semih pushing all the way in, and GG from dOTY. So Semih takes the 1-0.
Wow, man, right at the end there also, dOTY kind of threw away a couple of DTs attacking goons at the front. I think it just slipped into the main, but I guess it was too late by then anyway. So, good job Semih. I mean, you know, he scouted the cheese and he defended it appropriately. And that was that.
Yeah.
Just solid play from Semih. And he goes up 1-0.
Very, very
this
solid.
is a best of 7 though, so we still have plenty of games to come. And let's go into game number 2 right now. By the way, don't worry if you see 7 reps, you're like, oh my god, it's a spoiler. No, it is not. I do get anti-spoiler replays from the lovely, lovely referees of the tournament. Shout out to LRM No One, who provided the replays.
Alright, we get to do this?
Indeed, I am ready. It's going to be on Aztec. I believe that's Neo Aztec 2.1. Game number 2 between dOTY and Semih, who will go through to the finals of the ISL3 to face the winner of Ziki versus Bibian. Let's find out.
Yeah, it just gets ridiculously exciting at this point. We've just got such good players playing to go for the very, very top spots. Not a bad one amongst them. I mean, kind of all the surprise players get weeded out pretty early in the tournament, and that leaves these guys, despite the fact that they were slightly unexpected, we've been seeing fantastic play from both dOTY and from Semih, and of course, the other side of things, Ziki, and yeah, they need no introduction. But in this game, at the 12 o'clock position, we have ISL3 dOTY spawning in as the green Protoss. In the bottom right-hand corner, spawning in as the red Protoss, we have ISL3 Semih. So yeah, what are we expected from this game, Sayle?
Well, it is a reverse ramp map similar to Jade, so, you know, early Dragoon pressure could be a good idea. 3-gate obs, probably one of my go-to builds on this map. You know, got to do a little slash brag here. I did beat Jumper with 3-gate obs on this map when he went for a DT rush. Booyah! Sorry, Jumper, I had to do it. I had to do it. But yeah, otherwise, I guess we'll see. dOTY is sending out a pretty early probe here, doing a pylon scout. It's interesting because it's kind of the reverse of last game. Last game, Semih's the one who sent out the early probe scout and scouted the middle for proxy gates. But this probe scout is actually not going to check the middle. He's just going straight for Semih's base here. A little bit lucky for him to get the first scout off. But I mean, I'm not really sure what he's trying to do with this probe. Like, if this was a PvT, I'd say this was a gas deal, but obviously it's not. And you're not going to or you're not going to gas deal in PvP.
It's got to be a safety thing. I guess he's just one of those guys who likes getting the scout in early. I don't know. We see that it doesn't affect him too badly. I mean, if you compare the timings directly right now, the gateway is only very, very slightly behind. So, given that it makes so little of a difference in terms of the timings, it's probably kind of worth it. So you make sure that even if you scout him second, you can still get that probe in before the Zealot pops and blocks the ramp and makes life just a little bit difficult. But he's not going to be getting any mana pylons. That was what was in his head. The anti-mana pylon going down in Semih's main right now.
It's funny because that's not even like necessarily a mana location. There's no little nook there for you to mana, but I don't know, I guess just doing it anyway. Now, interestingly, like, you know, you say like it doesn't seem like it makes a big difference, but even if you just think about it mathematically, right? Like, you're sending out 1 probe when you only have 8 probes mining, so that's, you know, 12% of your economy just out the window
Yeah.
right there. So, you know, and in the early stages of the game, it actually makes pretty big of a difference. It's actually quite funny. Like, you can actually try this in your own games. Although I guess you need to at least like have your build down pretty well. Like I'd say, like if you're C- and above, you can actually just try this. Just experiment. Do the same build. Do a pylon scout versus a gateway scout versus like a core scout, and it makes more of a difference than you would ever imagine. It's actually kind of crazy.
Are you giving people homework? Is that what's happening right
That's
here?
exactly what I'm doing right now.
You're giving people homework.
I'm
Okay,
pulling
cool.
a day 9. Guys, go and try it for yourselves. Experiment with these lovely, lovely brood war little things. Anyway. Looks like first zealot is out for Semih. He's not going to chase the probe round. He's just going to leave that guy blocking the ramp there. His core is almost done. Looks like dOTY's core is a little bit behind. He also went for the zealot first. He's going to go try and be aggressive with the zealot. He's actually got... Oh, actually, that's the second zealot. First zealot's already here, but 2 zealots of Semih on the ramp. It's not going to do too much. The probe's kind of hanging around in the back, but yeah.
That zealot's going to take a while to clear it out. I mean, yeah, it's not like Semih's in any huge danger right now. Not like either of them in any huge danger right now, but it's going to be before... The first Dragoon's going to pop out relatively soon, so Semih running away with Mr. Probe. Ooh, he might head out of the main, he might hang out for a little bit longer, who knows or dares to dream. So only a matter of time really before the scout's going to be cleared out, and there we will really see these players revealing their hands. Nothing too noteworthy as of yet, but it is of course only a matter of time. It looks like the probe, ooh, not quite escaping, drilling through the zealots, but getting caught on the way out nonetheless. And yeah, and this is the cue for dOTY to pull back with both the zealots, as they would of course be easily microed down by that first Dragoon from Semih. Now I eagerly await to see what they're going to do and see if either of them are really able to take advantage of this reverse ramp, as so many people have done in the past. We have a second gateway happening right now for dOTY, and doing the clutch pylon block at the top of his minerals right there to make sure it doesn't get scouted.
Really, really nice. Interestingly, dOTY made a 3rd zealot. That is quite unusual in PvP. Well, I don't know about quite. Well, it is fairly unusual, I would say, to make that 3rd zealot. If you're not, because the thing is, like, I don't know if he made it before he saw the double zealot block, and you know he was just trying to rally zealots to the base to try and do some serious aggression. Because of course dOTY is known for having very, very good zealot control. But yeah, I mean these 3 zealots are not now. They're going to be fairly useless in the mid game when you know the mass dragoons and reaver engagements happen. They will be able to tank a few shots, but generally are not going to do too much. You'd rather have dragoons in that situation. I mean, in the very, very early game, they are okay. Like they can tank a lot of hits, but yeah, I think you'd rather have like a faster gateway or something rather than that 3rd zealot. In the meantime, it is going to be just a 2-gate robo from Semih here, going for the shuttle first. Let's see, is he going to go for shuttle, obs, and then reaver, or is he actually going to play a little bit risky and go for the reaver before obs? That would be fine because dOTY is going for robo as well. So we could see
I think though.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the three zealots might throw him off a little bit. You see 3 zealots, you think kind of cheaping out on gas a little bit, so that might lead him a bit towards the DT neck of the woods right there. But we have yet to see if that's true.
Probu walks by everything and goes into the main. dOTY moved out at exactly the wrong time there. And
yeah, so
that probe sees the robo. So now Semih knows he can absolutely be fine even without the alpha. Looks like he got it anyway, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He can just go straight for that reaver. Now he's also going to go expand, it looks like. And he knows, I mean, he sees the gateway count. He says, okay, we're basically doing the same thing, 2-gate robo, so there's no way he's going to have, you know, any kind of crazy unit advantage that he can bust me with. So I'll just expand, make some reavers, and I'll be good to go.
Yeah.
I don't see a support beta though. Oh no, sorry, there it is.
Yeah, it's over the top, I believe. Yeah, there it is. That's a bit of a weird position. I'd have thought you'd want to save that maybe for gateways or something, but doesn't matter. I'm sure he knows all about his base layout. Doesn't need me to tell him a thing. Meanwhile, dOTY making up an expansion. Semih might do it for himself. He has 400 minerals in the back, but I don't know if he's earmarking that for his future reavers or what. I mean, now 500. He's actually storing up quite a lot of cash right there, but probably going to make another round of dragoons now. And yeah, he does spend it all on troops. So this is going to be pretty much up to dOTY to defend. I'm kind of curious to see what he's got to defend with. I mean, there's still no reaver tech from him, and he's not even looking like he's going to have anything up in time. He might make a robo support. Okay, he does make a robo support now, so it looks like he's going to be doing the slow walking reavers out to the natural, but that could be pretty bad when he's fighting against maybe one, more like 1 reaver with a shuttle. Still a pretty major disadvantage.
And dOTY's observer just now going to go in, so he finally sees exactly what Semih's up to. And I think he'll be completely fine with this, because his Nexus is so much faster. So as long as he doesn't take any serious damage from this shuttle and reaver, he's going to be in an advantageous position. I mean, Semih seems to play this quite defensively. Like, not just, I don't know, he's playing this game really, really conservatively. I'm not sure if that's the best choice. In PvP, you do need to take some risks occasionally. But, you know, maybe, I mean, if he's very confident in his abilities and he's okay with, you know, thinks he can do some good Reaver micro, do a little bit of damage, or even if not, just play from behind a little bit, then that'll be fine as well. But anyway, I guess we'll have to see here. He's got to be very careful not to get this shuttle sniped. The shuttle is leading ahead of the units. He couldn't get it sniped. The Dragoons are moving in.
No. Not quite. He gets away with a little bit of questionable micro right there. So many times we've seen that go wrong. I'm sure you've seen it more than enough, as have I, and that sinking feeling can't really be compared to anything. The observer means he's going to be able to push up that ramp quite easily because there's no observer from the other side to clear it out, so he's going to have full vision up there, taking care of the one observer which dOTY had actually to his name. And it looks like Semih's going to try and push all the way up. He's going to try and take advantage of the element of surprise, but not quite committing. He's probably much better off trying to get up the big ramp right here, and I think he would have superior force if he cared to test it. But he's just being a little bit conservative and trying to take his time.
Yeah, and if you notice, Semih's just now transferred his probes to his natural, whereas dOTY has got about 70 minerals on average mined from each patch. So that's kind of the economic difference that we're working with here. Not the biggest deal in the world, but definitely a slight advantage now for dOTY, especially considering this attack hasn't really done anything. Actually, where did that shuttle go? Okay, no, there it is. Looks like it went back to pick up a second Reaver. Right. Looks like wow, dOTY has a sick probe saturation. Look how many probes he has. He has been completely on top of his probe production. That is a ridiculous number of probes. He can actually just take 2 scarabs in the mineral line now, and he'll still be fully saturated.
He could actually stop making.
Oh my God! The shuttle! The shuttle! Oh, doesn't quite get it there. Wow, that had 2 Reavers in it. Could you imagine if he had managed to snipe that? That would have been so sick. But it looks like now Semih's decided he can just engage here. He's running up a ramp. There's only 1 Reaver for dOTY against the 2 Reavers of Semih. Semih's Reaver takes a Reaver shot here. I don't think this is the best engagement for Semih. Oh man, Semih is not a good idea. He has a Reaver advantage, but oh God.
Yeah, that was one of the worst engagements I've ever seen in PvP terms. I mean, the Reavers did next to nothing for Semih. He positioned them down at the bottom of the ramp. The first Reaver shots, they went directly to the leading Zealot, and that's pretty much all Zealots are good for at this point, and it certainly did its job well there. So the first 2 Scarabs were eaten by that Zealot. So there was 1 other Scarab fired, and then the Reavers were pulled too far back. So he just got absolutely minced by the 1 Reaver defense from dOTY at the top of a ramp, and it was really no contest. And I thought he was going for a little bit of harass, but it is just an observer. So yeah, this puts Semih in a bit of a dodgy situation. His saturation is equally as good as dOTY. Well, not equally as good, but he's still doing decently enough, so he should be able to macro up quite quickly. But dOTY is definitely going to have the slight edge right there, getting his Citadel of Adun now as well. While Semih is teching a little bit slower too, so dOTY is in a decent enough position right now.
Indeed, indeed. Interestingly, it looks like we have some StarCraft 2 viewers in the chat. Welcome to you, and yes, there is a mischance when attacking uphill in Broodor. It's roughly 50%. The exact percentage is something ridiculous, but hold that thought. The Reaver's moving into the natural. Speed is done for the shuttle. dOTY does not notice. Oh my God, the Scarab goes off. He targets. Oh my God, he gets almost every single probe at the natural, and now he's going into the main. Semih is running the probes towards the shuttle now because that's a good idea. Oh God, dOTY's moving his own units in for a counterattack here, but there's 2 Reavers for Semih. Even though there's no shuttle, it's going to be quite difficult to break this. Although it's 2 Reavers down for dOTY as well. How well is he able to micro? Does he have enough stuff? Oh man, these 2 Reavers in the back doing so much damage to the Dragoons. I don't think that's going to work. And meanwhile, the speed shuttle actually came back from its harassment to just help out here, but turns out not even necessary. Man, dOTY's in a rough position right now.
Yeah, very, very rough. I mean, what you said about the mineral saturation is about to be put to the test as he transfers more probes out. I think he can actually decently saturate his natural again, but that really set him back pretty horribly. He had no clue what was going on, wasn't keeping enough of an eye on his minimap, and the Reaver is now heading back for more just as the probes transfer, and this could be ideal for Semih. He's going to be able to drop down the
God,
Reaver.
It's done!
Yeah. Wow. Close stuff right there.
Oh no, but counter drop in the main base! A counter drop, 2 Reavers in the mineral line, got 1 good shot off.
Wow. And all the while, Semih did a little bit of action up at dOTY's natural. I think he managed to take care of dOTY's Reaver, which had popped out there, but he did lose that Reaver for himself. So that's a little bit of a trade, Reaver for Reaver, and he's going to see, oh, a little bit of luck there. Semih seeing dOTY's shuttle flying around on the edge of his base as he flies back with his own. And 4 Reavers in that natural right now, that just makes it impossible for dOTY to break at this point, and Semih is once again on the aggression. dOTY runs the risk of getting caught pretty split up right here. He's going to have to retreat. This is not a battle he can win.
Man, I gotta say, see, guys, so many people hate on PvP, but is this not? How is this not awesome? How is this not like one of the most exciting things you've ever seen? Anyway, in the meantime, looks like Citadel going up for Semih. It's already up for dOTY, but no Templar Archives in sight. dOTY's been producing on 5 gateways this whole time, by the way, whereas Semih's been on 4. But it looks like Semih's been making up for that by making more Reavers.
Yeah,
it's like 2 Reavers going out in the speed shuttle now once again.
Yeah, dOTY's got Zealot leg speed nearly done. Oh, he could be able to catch that shuttle. He saw it. I think maybe he just saw it with the edge of his own shuttle's vision. This could be really, really close. dOTY's going to just miss Semih's shuttle.
But he's going to head drop.
Oh,
no,
nothing quite there. But Semih's shuttle is able to make his way all the way over to the natural where he has an observer. So, of course, he knows exactly what there is to defend. He might find a little nook in which to drop right here. And he might be able to take out both of his drones. Might be able to land some decent scarab shots. But he's going to take the shots directly to the Zealots instead. I'm not sure that was a good idea. He could have caught a lot of probes right there. And yeah, dOTY's going to begin his speed zealot production now, but that's going to be pretty much worse than useless, because against 4 Reavers, speed zealots pretty much just melt immediately. That could be really pretty ugly, and Semih's just going to hang out a little bit over near dOTY's natural. He's going to wait for a decent opportunity with which he can dart in and snag some extra probe kills.
Oh, he's got to be careful though. Oh my god, be careful.
Ops.
Oh, it's giving me heart attacks. Anyway, it looks like Semih's finally adding on some more gateways. He's getting his Templar archives up, and looks like this speed shuttle will actually be able to escape. In the meantime, I thought I heard some Dragoons shooting something. I don't actually know. But yeah, Templar archives going up for dOTY as well, still on his 5 gateways. Semih's actually got quite a bit of money in the bank. He's failing on his macro just a little, perhaps focusing too much on the shuttle. dOTY actually has a huge supply lead, 145 against Semih's 130. Actually, not huge anymore. I guess Semih just made a round of units, but here we go. Is he going to go in? No! dOTY very smartly just leaving some nice Dragoons in position. He's also leaving a random probe and observer here at the right side just to see if the shuttle actually leaves. In the meantime, going for a big attack here on Semih's soon-to-be expansion. dOTY dropping the Reavers. Now he's attacking uphill, but he has a superior army by far, and there's no Reaver support, but the shuttle immediately gets sniped. Now the Reavers have no support. 1 Reaver immediately goes down, but the other Reaver is doing some good damage, and the Zealots closing as well, but 2 Reavers for Semih joining the fight. Is it going to be enough? A 3rd Reaver, 4th Reaver, 4 Reavers against just 1, but there's so many Dragoons here with no Dragoon or Zealot support. I think Semih's going to be in so much trouble. Oh my god, Reavers are good, but they're supporting units. You need buffering units. You need something to tank the damage. And a bit of a flank there from dOTY as well, and this is just going to get cleaned up. dOTY looks like he is going to take it here. Semih getting a little bit too fancy with the Reavers. 122 supply now against just 88.
Oh, dOTY's in a great position right now. He's heading straight on the natural. Semih might be able to hold for the time being. He has speed lots on the way too, but dOTY, with possibly the finishing blow coming through the middle of the map with a bunch more speed zealots to back up. But he may be able to clean this up right here. He still has 1 Reaver wandering towards the natural expansion of Semih, and yes, he's going to be able to push all the way in. Those Dragoons are going to be able to clean this up, and he's heading on straight in. So I think Semih's going to have to just fall back and wait for the next game right here. Coming out with a decent number of speed zealots, so once again he may just hold for a second longer, but that Reaver from dOTY ready and waiting to come up and join the fight, and the natural for Semih looking very exposed, and the main just waiting to be taken down really, and dOTY's 3rd base now on the way up as well. Going to put him in a decent position economically, and despite the way the mid game went quite badly against him at times, he's able to come back with some decent engagements and do some real damage to Semih.
Yeah, I think Semih's just kind of not wanting to leave just yet, but you know, I mean, he's already up 1-0 in the series, so no big deal. I agree with you. I think he should just kind of save his energy and just go on to the next match. There's really no hope for him anymore in this game. Down to 55 supply against 119. He's trying to be fancy with this Reaver, but a couple of DTs even coming in for dOTY here, and there's actually no observer. If that DT actually snipes the Reaver, that'll be quite cool, but the shuttle also gets sniped, and I mean, this is kind of silly at this point. Come on, Semih, it's alright. Go on to the next game, you'll be fine. You'll be good to go. And there's the GG.
Just as the DT snipes out that Reaver, the GG is thrown down from Semih. And yeah, time to go on to the next game. So that was some seriously good stuff right there. But yeah, we see dOTY eventually take it down after quite a struggle, quite a lot of toing and froing with the Reavers right there.
Indeed, indeed. So, oh, gotta plug in my headset. 1 second. Alright, let us go on to game number 3. Thanks to all the viewers for watching. This is the ISL3 semifinals, sponsored by Altitude Game.com.
Amongst others.
Huh?
Amongst others.
Indeed, amongst others. They are the primary sponsor. Please go check out their game.
Please do. We'd like it.
Alright, wow, the next map's gonna be Destination. That's a nice map pick. Love me some Destination. Alright, let's just go straight into the game.
Yeah, let's do it.
Desti. Man, I haven't seen a game on Desti in so long. Ridiculously long. Alright, go ahead and do the positions.
I am more than happy to. Spawning in at the top of the map as the white Protoss, we have ISL3 dOTY. And at the bottom of the map, spawning in as the orange Protoss, we have ISL3 Semih. The map is, as already mentioned by the wonderful Sayle, Destination, which is Cheese Central, and that is going to be backed up by dOTY sending out one of his original probes, or it might have been the 5th probe, but either way, he's going to be throwing down some proxy gates, or a reasonable facsimile of proxy gates. Anyway, something cheesy is going to be happening right now from dOTY. Will Semih scout it in time?
Oh man, as you said, there are so many different cheeses to build on this map. Like, just the number of places to proxy gateways alone is like more than the number of cheeses you can do on some other maps. Look, he can build them at the natural here on the side. He can build them in the main base here in this Fog of War area. He can even just manor pylon here and go for horror gates, although it looks like there's already an anti-manor. It looks like... What?
Yeah, he's not making any secret of this, is he?
Why is he just making it there? What? dOTY!
Too cool.
dOTY, that is not one of the locations. That I did not say build it there. There's like 5 different places you can put proxy gateways on this map, and this is not one of them. Like, you could literally close your eyes and throw a dart at Destination and hit one of the proxy locations.
Yeah,
but it would not be this one.
Probably better than this. I don't know what the deal is with this. I don't know what he's quite imagining is going to happen. He must be incredibly confident in his Zealot micro capabilities. And Semih, of course, upon seeing it, pulls a bunch of probes and does the thing which you do, which is attack the gateway with the correct number, and the gateway goes down before the first Zealot pops out. So that's simple stuff.
I'm really excited because I've actually watched Oya versus Semih. Oya, of course, the master of proxy gates, where Oya proxies gateways in Semih's main, Semih scouts it, and he still loses. Alright? Like, I think dOTY's actually just saying, you know what, dude, my Zealot micro is that much better than your Zealot micro, and I also think you're not going to react correctly, so I'm just going to kill you. I don't actually care. And the thing is, look at this, 6 probes off the line. Even if they kill this gateway, this is taking down so much mining time from Semih. Like, he is losing so much economy from this. And look at this, dOTY's just going to build another gateway. Like, he doesn't care. It's like, oh, you killed that gateway. Alright, whatever, I'll just build another one. It's fine, it's fine. And Semih, look, he doesn't even have, like, he should be building a second gateway now, but he doesn't have enough money. He just doesn't have enough mining right now. If you actually look, I think dOTY actually has more probes mining minerals than Semih does, even though he's gone for this ridiculous cheese. So this is actually like a crazy situation. You would think that, oh, you know, Semih's fine now that he scouted it, but it's not necessarily true. And a 3rd gateway actually going down now for dOTY.
I mean, I'm not convinced that this proxy gate thing is going to work. I mean, his economy is in a halfway decent shape, but he's going to lose this gateway before the Zealot pops out, I would think. It's going to be close stuff, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the Zealot is not going to make it out. And that's going to be the case for every subsequent gateway as well, so I hope he cancelled that, otherwise he's a bit out of pocket right now. Just continuing to make gateways, this is crazy stuff. I almost feel like Semih would have been better off just letting... I don't even know. I don't even know what would have been better.
If at first you don't succeed, make another gateway.
Yeah.
The Art of Protoss by dOTY. Oh, he cancelled everything! Oh, he decided he can't do it. Oh, the Zealot doesn't even get out! And dOTY is now officially boned, I believe is the technical term.
I'm pretty sure this is a disaster. I don't know what else would have happened though. I can't imagine how that could have ended well. Upon scouting, he was able to pull the probes. It was incredibly close to his main, so the probes got there without any hassle. And it was all peachy for Semih all the way through. He never really looked to be in trouble. How was this meant to work?
Well, I think there's a couple of really close calls there. Like, on both of the gateways, the Zealot was literally like 3 seconds from coming out before the gateway died. And if he got one of those Zealots out, think about it. When one of the Zealot comes out, Semih has to pull his own Zealot to attack it. So now the gateways start dying a lot slower, and he's also going to be busy microing his Zealot to defend his probes and not focusing on the probes attacking the gateway. So it's just like, if one of those zealots came out, I think it might have been a completely different story, but Semih pulled just enough probes to make sure that didn't happen. And now dOTY's in a pretty rough spot. He's actually just building an emergency cannon in his mineral line with 2 gateways. I think he'll survive this, actually, this counterattack, just with some good probe control. But, I mean, he's going to be kind of
really good.
Yeah, tied to his base a little bit. I mean, honestly, look at this. The supply counts, you know, in probe-wise, I don't think dOTY's actually behind by that much. Like, he's behind by 9 supply, but Semih's got like 4 zealots, so... Well, actually, no, dOTY's got a couple of zealots now as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually that far behind economy-wise, honestly. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens from here.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think his economy did take a bit of a nasty hit there. He lost maybe 5 or 6 probes in that defense, all told. So that was a pretty nasty blow for him. And the probe counts are looking quite even, and maybe Semih even a little bit ahead. I think dOTY's going to have a real uphill struggle. And yeah, looking at it, I'm sure Semih's ahead in terms of economy right now. He's ahead in pretty much everything. He's got a second Nexus happening too. So dOTY somehow needs to find a way to take advantage of this this window of opportunity. Having made a forge, however, it was necessary to ensure his survival, but I don't think it did anything rather than postpone his eventual demise.
Interesting choice by Semih to expand here. I mean, I guess that's one way to play this, and he does already have the 2 gateways. It's just so funny because, I mean, 2-gate expand on this map is actually, you know, it's okay because of these bridges. Like, it's pretty easy to hold ground attacks. But it's just like he had the 2 gateways because he was getting proxied, and then he's like, oh, well, I guess I'll just continue into this build. That kind of makes sense now. In the meantime, I think dOTY's actually just going to expand as well. And the thing is, he already has a forge, so even though he, you know, his tech's probably going to be slower, he can just make a couple of cannons and defend it just fine. I mean, that's actually a fairly common strategy on this map, is to just do like a zealot cannon expand type thing. It's almost like the PvP version of Forge FEing. It's quite interesting. And you know, it's like one of the reasons why I love watching games on dOTY. It's just it's a really interesting map. I mean, this used to be Day9's favorite map, I believe. It might even still be his favorite map.
Who knows, or dares to dream. And making up something was that a pylon, and either way Semih cancelled it. I'm not quite sure if he knew what was going on, but in the natural, dOTY trying a bit of aggression. I don't think he's in any position to be doing anything of the kind. And back he goes, maybe to start another little bit of an attack. If he gets a decent position, he might just be able to do some good damage. And I don't know how he's being aggressive at this point, managing to snipe off one of Semih's zealots right there, and he's now all the way in the natural with a superior zealot count. So this could actually work out somehow nicely for dOTY, just because he's kept up the zealot production, whereas Semih's actually cheaped out a little bit on that, and Semih having to pull all these probes from his natural in order to defend this properly. And dOTY's going to keep poking in. He's not going to give up. He wants more, and he gets a good position as well on these zealots right now, able to get a good arc, but I think he's going to have to pull back now. The arc has just been dealt with quite nicely by Semih, but still dOTY with a superior number of zealots. Will they get sniped off though? Oh, suddenly losing a whole load of his zealots. He's coming with reinforcements though. He might be able to do some kind of break. This is going to be pretty on the edge right now for Semih. His zealots are on super low health. Same for dOTY though as well. It's a pretty much even trade, which at this point I have to say most likely just favours Semih overall.
Oh, absolutely. Meanwhile, there was one zealot counterattack in the natural there. Looks like he's got 2 kills. But the thing is, look at the Citadel's already finished. I mean, Semih is miles ahead in the tech, miles ahead. He's getting the Templar Archives, but I mean, there should be cannons at the front of dOTY's base in time for that. So I think what he should actually do is go for get a robotics and go for a DT drop. And the thing is, even if the opponent, like dOTY has a cannon in his main, right? But you can actually just drop the Dark Templars directly on top of the cannon and just kill it before the probes can do anything, and then you just insta win the game. So if you're going to opt for fast archives like this, which presumably is going to be for Dark Templars, I would like it if you made a robo, but I guess we shall see what his choice is. Interestingly, he's actually got a little bit of supply blocks now, but one zealot going to run to the main here, going to see nothing particularly interesting. I don't actually even know if he saw that Cybernetics Core finishing up, which would have been quite crucial.
Yeah, I don't know if he did. I think maybe he did. I don't know. But yeah, it looks like there is going to be a photon cannon, making the natural of dOTY safe. So walking DTs aren't going to be a threat at least. But your point about DT drops is pretty good. That brings to mind that I did used to make DT drops pretty standard when fighting against fast expand style builds. And yeah, it can work really pretty reliably. Semih's not going to be doing that though. It's just going to be straight up Dark Templar. I'm surprised he's not going straight to High Templar.
There is a robot.
He knows they're already cannons. Oh, is there?
Yep. Just as we were talking about it, he made the robe with the natural. Clearly, Semih has heard us through time and space. he listened, he was like, well, if the PvP bourgeois suggests it, I guess it's probably good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Giving inspiration to ISL semi-finalists.
It's going to be a little while before the shuttle's out, though, and the first DTs are heading on over. I mean, it's
Oh
just
my
getting high
God.
tempo now, so is this going to be a storm drop kind of
Dude.
design?
The third base is already up.
Oh.
Okay. I think I know what this is. Okay. He can go for aggression with the DTs, but more likely, basically what he's doing is he's using these or he can use these for map control because of how late dOTY's deck is. Like, observers are going to be so slow. And oh, actually, he might just run around the back here. Oh God, he might just run into the main. Oh no, is he going to get into the main? One DT is going to chill at the back of the natural here, and oh God. The DT goes in the main. Now the thing is, there is one cannon protecting the mineral line, but he can start picking off these gateways that will be out of vision range, and that is not going to be ideal. Bit of a misstep there for dOTY to let that happen. I think if he put his cannons a little bit further forward, he could have stopped that.
That's a shocking turn of events. He's having to make up another cannon as well to cover his robo, which is not properly covered. He'll be able to get observers quite soon, though, because where is your observer tech? He just started Dragoon range as well. But I'm not seeing him where his observer... Okay, his observer tech is coming in his natural, so he's going to have observers actually quite soon. Somehow a probe getting all the way into Semih's main. How on earth does that happen at this stage of the game? So dOTY somehow getting this like this magic scout off. He's going to have seen the high Templar, he's seen the gateway counters as well. He did not see the third base, and why would he have after all? The two Dark Templars still surviving. Just making it back through to the main base of dOTY, but their time is pretty limited because observers are now on the way out. They could... Sorry. Go on.
I really like how he made this really fast third base in addition to the Dark Templars, because basically the principle is this: if your opponent doesn't have a if your opponent has a fast obs, he stops the DTs, and then that's fine, because if you went for a fast obs after what dOTY opened, you're not going to have enough ground units to really punish anything. If dOTY went for like a huge gateway swell in the mid game, then it's basically impossible for him to actually have the robo and the observers. Like he could have maybe just have gambled and said, okay, I hope Semih's not going DTs, let me just go for a huge gateway all in which case the DTs will stop that as well. So basically, there's absolutely no way for dOTY to have both observers and be able to punish this third base. So going for those DTs is a really nice choice from Semih.
Yeah.
In the meantime, he's kind of just going to hold the contain here, and anyone who's ever played Destination knows that when you are contained in your natural on this map, you actually just want to go kill yourself. It's just so brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a case of mine out the back, hope your opponent doesn't see, hope you get one lucky engagement to get you back into the game, otherwise you may as well just GG out, because this is going to be bad stuff. Imagine trying to push across those bridges. They're like a storm funnel. As you get over there, and Semih's going to have a whole load of storm. He's had these high Templars for ages. I mean, look at that. 152 energy, 152 energy, 108. And dOTY's actually going to try and push out now for some peculiar reason. There's no way that's going to be working out for him. Although I guess he's kind of right in the fact that he needs pressure now. Otherwise, it's going to be just way too late.
Interestingly, this observer that's about to die at the natural actually saw this shuttle from Semih moving up, so he should be prepared for any storm drops coming. He has one cannon in the back, but notice, of course, there is this cliff area behind, and in fact, there's also this observer here from Semih, so he can actually spot over this back cliff and actually drop the Templars on the outside where they're out of vision and storm across here, which would be really cool.
Out. Yeah, dOTY's mining out the minerals in the background. Could be in time, maybe.
I don't know. Come on, show us the storm drop. I want to scream Stormu.
Too slow. Too slow.
Oh.
You're into risk of getting scouted. The minerals. I'll find out. Get around the back with any probe.
What the fuck? Oh, god damn it, he missed! God damn it, Semih.
That's the longest storm I ever heard right there, and one fizzling storm on no probes whatsoever. That is bad stuff from Semih. He had so much of a huge window of opportunity right there and made Sayle pretty much die as a result. But Semih still has a hugely superior army. dOTY finds himself in the middle of the map, which is kind of where he'd want to be.
Oh god, his army's gonna get stormed! His army's gonna get stormed! Storm! God, Semih, please learn to storm, bro. Oh, that's a good storm. Alright, there are some sick storms. Meanwhile, the mass engagements, oh man, just doing so much damage to those back supporting Dragoons, making some Archons, got so many Dragoons to support. Although, dOTY seems to have the Zealot advantage, and these speed lots against these low Dragoon numbers are actually going to do really well. It looks like dOTY is somehow winning this engagement here. Semih Semi storms were not enough, and he's actually getting pushed back here against all odds, although it looks like a big wave of reinforcements, though, is going to be enough here. Semi with, looks like 8, going up to 10 gateways against, well, actually, it looks like 6 or 7 gateways for dOTY. Back to the engagement, it looks like it's still pretty close. Both players sending in reinforcements. Who's going to take it? Zealot Goon on Zealot Goon action here.
Yeah, I think the Semi's going to get this though, because it looks like the back Dragoons from dOTY are all being taken out, and finally Semi does manage to clear it up, as he eventually would.
GG! dOTY, GG's out, and Semi takes game number 3. Sorry for interrupting you there.
I think we can blame that on the gates.
Yeah, that's. I mean, this game was over from the beginning, but you know, dOTY made a game out of it. He survived long enough for Semi to not give us good storms. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that storm shout was like the longest, most tortuous thing I've ever heard.
I was just waiting for it. I was like, please, storm, please, please. Alright,
yeah, there was no pulling out at that stage, was there? You're committed.
I was, exactly. I was all in, man. I was all in. I just had to go. I was all in before the flop.
Yeah.
Alright. Join up, man. Join up. I want to see a game. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. This is so good. I mean, it's all. We've already decided it's not going to be a 4-0, so I'm already pumped for this. Because I had to cast like 2 4-0s last week, and that was quite sad.
I'm trying to get into the game, but it seems I made a oh, of course. What was I doing with the game name? Alright. I got it.
Water wants me to put a game timer. Dude. I don't want to put a game timer. I hate game timers. I hate them. I hate them. Unless like everybody wants a game timer, I'm not going to put one.
Yeah, I can't play with a game timer. I find myself looking at the bloody game timer more than the game. Or the APM counter.
It's just so annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I can now kind of deal with the APM counter just because people kept asking me to put it there. But
yeah.
No.
I just sit there like, whoa, 700 APM, how high can I go? And then nothing gets done because I'm just spamming the hell out of my keyboard.
Trying to get up there to project level.
Yeah, man.
Alright. So, let us go into game number 4. Semi leading 2-1. This is a best of 7. So dOTY still got plenty of chances.
Yeah. And in that last game, it really got pretty real pretty quickly. What's dOTY going to bring for us today? Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Oh, a little bit of lag. Let's get this on extra high. Can you observe on extra high? You
yeah,
alright with that?
Fine. It's fine. I'll deal with it.
Okay.
I'll man up. That way, if I lose at observing, I can blame the lag.
Yeah, before you leave, just throw in a sarcastic comment. Bottom left-hand corner, spawning in as the red Protoss, we have ISL3 dOTY. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, as the orange Protoss, we have ISL3 Semi. Do you ever get that when you're announcing colours and your knowledge of colours goes? And you're just like, shit, what colour is this? What colour is this?
I'm not sure. I don't think
the
that has ever
weirdest
happened to me.
No.
Elegant just forgets his color chart.
I need to go back to reception and do that lesson again.
That is pretty awesome, though. That's alright. I forget plenty of other things. I mean, my memory is notoriously terrible, so it's alright. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Interestingly, it looks like neither player is cheesing on this map. I mean, although it looks like Semi is scouting for it, scouting inside his main base. There's a very big area, as you can see, in your main base that it's very possible for players to proxy gateways inside, but it looks like dOTY's not going to do anything silly like that this game. But Semi is still, look at this Semi being so careful. He's checking in the back of the natural as well. Just wants to make absolutely sure he doesn't get proxy this game, considering what happened last game. But
who can blame him though? I mean, yeah.
This is costing him a lot of mining time. As I said, doing a pylon scout does actually hurt your economy quite a bit in the early game, and he's not even going to get the scout into dOTY's base that early. Is he even going to send it? Okay, no, he is going to send it now, but just checking every possible proxy location. Is he going to even go to like the 12 o'clock? That would be ridiculous. He's actually going to the 12 o'clock. He's literally going to like give us entire map vision before he goes to dOTY's base.
So he scouts at 9, but because he's scouted so ridiculously carefully, he's still going to scout dOTY later than dOTY's going to scout him. dOTY's gateway positioning is a little bit weird though. I feel that's kind of vulnerable to Dragoons in the mid game. If he gets overwhelmed, that could actually be picked off quite easily by ranged Dragoons without him able to do too much about that.
I think what it does is it lets you block that with just one Zealot, whereas if you didn't have that there, you can't block that gap with just one Zealot. You see what I mean? So like now this probe scout, I don't think it can get into the base because I think the probe's gonna block it, and when the Zealot comes out, it's going to block it as well. So I think dOTY's actually just prevented himself from getting scouted, which is actually really cool. I actually did not know he could do that. Wow. Sweet!
Sweet, indeed. That's some good stuff right
Uh-oh,
there. And
Proxy!
dOTY's gonna be...
Proxy!
Oh, so Semih, he is going to be so unaware of this. He's done like the complete scouting, and I think dOTY kind of he kind of bargained for this. He knew how paranoid Semih was going to be, and factored that in and said, all right, I'll make them a bit later. That's cool. And so Semih is going to be so in the dark about this, so absolutely in the dark.
Is he going to build a third gateway? Is he actually going to just proxy 3 gateways and go mass zealots? I think that's what he's doing. Oh god. Oh man, this build. Oh, this build. I hate it with a passion. Oh my god. Especially when you can't scout. There's just like no way to see it coming. There's absolutely nothing Semih can do to see this happening unless he's magical and sends his probe to the right place. Oh, if he sees a second probe, he's going to be very suspicious. Oh, he's going to the 12 o'clock. Look at this! Look at Semih just scouting the 12 o'clock. He knows. He's like, dOTY, what are you doing? What are you doing behind that fancy gateway block, dOTY? I don't trust you. I don't trust you in the slightest. Look, he's checking the 12 o'clock. He's not. Dude, go to the 3 o'clock. Go to the 3 o'clock. You have to go. He has to go there now. Even if he goes there right now, I don't know if he can win anymore because the gateways are already finished. So he's going to have 1 gateway production against 4 gateway production. And he is going there. He's going there. He's checking it. Oh, he's going to see it. Oh, oh he's going to see it.
Okay, so yeah, he sees it. And now what does he do? He has a second gateway on the way. He's going to have 1 Dragoon, 2 Zealots against whatever spawn of hell comes his way. This is going to be seriously nasty stuff. He's going to have to defend pretty much absolutely to the hilt. He's going to have to do a fantastic job of this because otherwise he's going to be caught very, very short against a huge number of gateways right here. I mean, you can defend for the moment, but how long is this going to last? 2 more Zealots coming up, and they're going to be pouring out of these 3 proxy gates. Zealots are so quick and cheap to make, but this is absolutely all in from dOTY. There's no way about this. If this doesn't work, he's going to be in massive trouble, and he's going in for the attack now. He's going to get a good position on these first Zealots. I think he's definitely going to be able to break in here, and it's going to be left to Semih to defend desperately, and already dOTY manages to move Semih away from his position. Now the natural expansion might be able to catch his Zealot. Now the shield battery coming in might be able to do some decent stuff for Semih, and yeah, he does manage to heal up all his units, but there's so many Zealots in there already. This is so terrifying right now. Semih's pushed all the way back into his main, forced to make a shield battery, and he could actually lose one of his gateways quite early on here. Once again, dOTY getting a decent position with the Zealots, but he's just reinforcing so incredibly quickly, and I don't know what Semih can do.
Yeah, I think Semih is basically dead here, but I do want to note both players making very, very good choices here. You know, I know for a lot of lower level players, it's very difficult to know exactly what you should be doing in these kinds of situations. So for Semih, basically, he's actually, first of all, he's not getting Dragoon range. Obviously, you don't need that. You know, he added on his gateways, he made the shield battery. He's trying to get his production to match, but I think he should have been pulling some probes here to help out. I'm not sure if that would have helped even still, but a nice job by dOTY though. Notice how Semih kept pulling back towards his mineral line to try and get a better position and go into this funnel, whereas GG from Semih. But yeah, dOTY kept attacking the gateway, which basically forces Semih to move out and actually engage his Zealots, and if you engage them in open field away from the probe line, dOTY knew he wouldn't lose that. So yeah, just good choices I think for both players. But I mean, this is why I really hate that build, is even though it got scouted there, just because it was scouted a little bit too late, he just died anyway. And the thing is, that map isn't ramped, so even if he scouted it earlier, it's still difficult to hold off because he would still be at 1 gateway against 4 for a little while with no ramp advantage. You know, he could pull probes, but Zealots are pretty damn good, so it's just really, really difficult to deal with. Even for the top level players, even if you see it coming, it's just ugh.
There's such a tiny window of opportunity in which to scout. I mean, and it falls right in between scouting for early proxy gates and scouting for nothing at all. So it's really, really horrible stuff to deal with. And we can see how effective it was. I mean, Semih stood no chance at all.
Indeed, but it does make me happy though, because now the series is tied at 2-2, looking like a pretty close series. I'm loving it. And it's not McDonald's.
Oh, I knew you were going to do that. Oh.
I had to bust it out.
Yeah.
Right,
McDonald's are not sponsoring this tournament, just by the way.
They should, man. They should.
Are you sponsored by McDonald's and you have to say McDonald's 10 times in a card?
Oh
somehow?
Man, so busted. That's right. I secretly got a personal sponsorship from McDonald's, like just trying to sneak in the ads there. Dude, it's like on the Truman Show where like the lady just randomly plugs products. And then like Jim Carrey's like, wait, we were talking about something completely different. Why are you like talking about, you know, detergents or something?
Oh, Sayle, you're so transparent. I knew that immediately.
Uh,
McDonald's are going to be so unhappy with you.
they are, they are.
Damn.
Wasn't sneaky enough.
Golden Arch is crashing down on your head.
Alright, so before I get busted any further, let us go into the game. It's going to be another 2-player map here, match point, and a lot, once again, a lot of possibilities for cheese on this map. Like, this map selection is pretty baller, I gotta say. I'm missing Tau Cross though, I'm missing Tau Cross, but anyway.
I never miss Tower Cross. I can't stand Tower Cross. But coming in the top right hand corner of the map, as the yellow Protoss, we have ISL3 dOTY, and in the bottom left hand corner of the map, spawning in as the teal Protoss, we have ISL3 Semih. Could it be another cheese match? Is there more crazy stuff incoming right now from dOTY?
Well, it looks like nothing just yet. He hasn't sent his 5th probe, so at least it's not going to be proxy gates. But then again, he could just proxy 3 gates at a later point in time, so you never know. You never know. Looks like meanwhile both players kind of discussing what happened last game. Wasn't actually quite paying attention to what they were saying. But it looks like it has made them both forget a pylon. Well, no, not forget, but Semih's was on 122 minerals, and I actually didn't see when dOTY's was. Looks like he's done the anti-mana pylon though, and Semih hasn't. So Semih is at slight risk of getting manoed in this really lovely position here, trapping the two, or getting the 2 patches. But anyway.
And it's early scout as well for dOTY. What's happening? It looks like this is going to be a proxy scout, so he's going to head down to the mineral only position and check behind the minerals, where it is an incredibly common proxy position, so you're going to see nothing going on there. And going to head on over maybe to Semih's main, but is this probe for something else? Does he have an ulterior motive?
It's very interesting. So look at this. Semih scouting the inside of his main base, dOTY checking the mineral only part, where but not actually checking the inside of his main base. So both players kind of partially scouting for proxies there. Let's actually see if Semih's probe also goes to the mineral only. It looks like it, yeah, it's actually doing that as well. So Semih once again being extremely careful here. dOTY does seem to have a bit of a reputation as a cheeser. I mean, not quite as much as someone like Michael, but you know, as we can see in this series, he does cheese a little bit. I think actually in the qualifier where he beat dOTY, or sorry, where he beat Semih in, he also busted out some cheese builds. Although I don't recall those games. I don't even know if I watched them. I think I had to go cast something else or something, but anyway, gas for both players. Looks like Semih's going to be done slightly faster, and there's now the anti-mana pylon in Semih's mineral line, so he's going to be fine.
Not a minute too soon. That probe was sniffing around for an opportunity. You can see it. It might still get one on the end right there, but I think it's probably going to be alright. Semih should be able to deal with this, but that probe is looking pretty dangerous. He's not letting it go, but might get caught by the Zealot here as the Zealot pops out. No, it's going to be alright. And yeah, both of these players are getting a decent scout on each other. And the build's so far exactly the same, so both of them going for this Zealot-y style opening. Cybernetic score happening now for dOTY, so he's only going to be going for the 2 Zealot opening this time. Still no cyber core for Semih.
Yeah, he built a second Zealot first. This is very strange.
Yeah.
You know, core first is possible. It's slightly risky against a 2-gate. Zealot core Zealot is considered the very safe and standard build. That's what you most see for the most part in PvPs. 2 Zealots before core is just like ultra safe, but generally not optimal. I think Zealot core Zealot is much better. But you know, the thing is though, if you consider he just lost to like proxy 3-gate Zealot, then it's like, okay, maybe he just wants this extra Zealot to be safe, but it's like, yeah, is that really necessary? I think he might be playing a little bit overly safe here. Semih's actually playing like just the safest game imaginable. He's scouting early, he's scouting all the proxy locations, he's building 2 Zealots before core. He's actually like put 2 condoms on top of each other or something. This is just like, you know, beyond safe. This is just over the top.
This is way too far. I mean, yeah, he's just going to be easily able to defend this first Zealot, but it's pretty much lost in cash and timings what he gains by defending it easily, so I don't really know what the function of this really is. But yeah, both guys going, well, actually no, I was about to say both going on to 2 gates, but they're not. dOTY going on to 2 gates. Semih's still sticking with 1. He's got a few spare minerals in the bank too. Don't know if he's got a plan, if he is a man with a plan for that extra money that he's got lying around. But dOTY doing the standard stuff and is getting fully scouted as well, so no surprises on the way for our good friend Semih. Still with the same amount of minerals, he might be just kind of keeping that hanging around for no particular reason. But yeah, both players looking pretty even. Robo now happening for dOTY too.
Yeah, very, very standard. Whoa! Looks like dOTY in the middle of the game decided to go do something. Alright, that's cool. It's not like this is an important match or anything. It's not like you can win $1,000 if you, go to the next round and win, but, whatever, it's cool. Anyway. Looks like, yeah, just same builds from both players. So this is actually looking a lot like their game on Aztec.
Yeah.
Which dOTY won. Yeah. And the thing is, see, my issue with this is now, like, if you play super safe and you both do the same standard build, then you're just like putting yourself behind for no reason whatsoever. Yeah. So then it's like, okay, you want to go to play a standard long game, and then your opponent's like, oh, cool, I'll do that too, and then you're like, oh shit, now I'm behind. Oh. Anyway, looks like Lagoon actually scouting at 6 o'clock. Just gonna check for any crazy proxies there. I mean, to be fair, from Semih position, I can't necessarily fault him for being super safe, but it's like, kind of yucky now.
And yeah, dOTY being pretty aggressive now in the game as well. I mean, this is definitely not uncommon on this map, because while there is this tiny little reverse ramp heading to your enemy's natural, there is of course the big flat space with which you can make your way across. So it looks like dOTY's going to be going for some serious aggression. 3 gateways, possibly backed up by Reavers as well sooner or later. Going to get observers first, possibly since it's a while since he actually scouted what exactly Semih's doing. But yeah, this could be... Ooh, but will that probe from Semih get all the way over into the main? It looks like it might do. Will that Dragoon get out there in time? Probably it will, so he might just be able to deny that scout. He does see the natural being made ready, but that could be more than a little bit misleading, because we do of course have 3 gates pumping away. Observers nearly out now as well, so the question is, how far is dOTY going to take this? Is he going to stick on just 3 gateways and then making the natural expansion? Or is he going to go for Reavers as well? And this prompts Semih to move out, looking like he's threatening to lay down a next of his own, which would be pretty much disastrous at this point.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to decide whether that was a fake expansion from dOTY or he's actually planning to take it, depending on what he sees with the Dragoons. I feel like he's actually thinking about taking the expansion. Like if he pokes him in here with the Goons, he sees too many units, he'll just back off and expand. But yeah, I do like this choice. 3 gate obs expand on like a flat map, as you said. Very good idea. No easy narrow ramp for Semih to defend. Looks like he's going to pull back all the way into his main. He has of course gone for the quicker. Well, I was going to say Reaver, but I don't see a support bay anywhere.
Yeah, I noticed the shuttle a while back, but then that's very, very late. I don't know if that's a mistake, or he was short on gas maybe, or what. He shouldn't have been too short on gas.
I feel like that has to be a mistake. Like, he made the shuttle, and then he made an OBS, and now the robo was just sitting there, and then he made a support bay. It's like, And
a second OBS,
that's a really inefficient build, but anyway. I think dOTY is going to be fine with this. He's going to be like, oh, you're just going to sit in your main. Alright, I guess I'll just make an expansion then. And make a bunch of Dragoons and be safe against everything, and I think that's absolutely correct. I don't think he should really move in here. He's moving in a little bit. He's just going to poke in. I think that's just a little bit of scouting, just to see exactly what's going on. He's going to see the robo there at least. That's going to be basically all he needs, actually. So he's like, oh, okay, it's no DTs. Alright, excellent. Fantastic. And there's the Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, this puts dOTY in a fine position. I mean, barring any particularly spectacular harass, he should be good in the mid-game with the way this is currently looking. And no shuttle speed happening yet from Semih either, so despite the fact that he's pushed all the way back into his main at a pretty nasty timing, he's not looking like he's gearing up for any particularly heavy harass, which I would debate at this point, although, having said that, the map probably isn't
here's the move out! He's breaking out! And it looks like dOTY's just immediately going to pull back. By the way, sorry if there's like random noise in the background, guys. I think they're setting off fireworks outside, because it is the Queen's Jubilee thingamajig this weekend. What is it, Elegant? Do you know what this is?
It's something to do with maybe she got older again, or younger. That'd be worth telling.
Guys, alright, we, of course, Elegant and I both in England, and the Queen did something this weekend. All I really know is that it means we got Monday and Tuesday off work, which is awesome.
You say that, I'm already on holiday, so it just means that no shops are open. So that's
well, I get to be on holiday, but it also means that there's going to be fireworks near where I live, so it'll get a little bit noisy.
Yeah, that's alright though. I mean, I have no idea what's going on. Maybe she's been queen for like a certain number of years or something. I don't really care.
You're a terrible person, Elegant. You're not.
I know.
Where's your national pride, man?
Oh, I have loads of that, but the queen. I mean, she doesn't really do too much for me. I mean, I don't know.
Alright. Anyway. Alright, coming back to the game. Coming back to StarCraft. Looks like a 4th gateway up for dOTY. He's now transferred some probes over to the natural, and damn, that is actually really loud. they're actually doing it from like a parking lot that's like right next to my flat, so it's gonna be really loud.
Oh,
but anyway,
backing
here
out
we
to
go.
space.
He's moving
Semih
out.
pushing out. You talk.
All right, he's busting out. The Reavers are down. dOTY's backing up. He doesn't have enough stuff. It's like equal Dragoon counts, but there's 2 extra Reavers for Semih, so it's just not gonna work. But I mean, dOTY, I think with this Nexus going up, he needs to add a couple, like at least maybe 1 more gateway. And even though he's not gonna have Reaver Tech, or no, actually no, he's Reaver Tech. Okay, never mind. So he's gonna be fine then. But I was thinking he could alternatively just slam out a ton of Dragoons and just kind of catch this attack midway and just engage on the open ground, and he'd also be fine. But no, he's just gonna go for some defensive Dragoons.
It sounds like you've got like some serious rattling going on at your end, but either way, it is now going to be another engagement in the middle of the map. Semih dropping down both his Reavers. He needs to micro this pretty well. One Reaver running the strong risk of getting picked off, but he's microing well, and dOTY is going to be forced further and further back. What does dOTY have at home to defend? He does have 1 Reaver crawling out to his natural. He's going to possibly take a couple more Dragoon casualties on the way as well, and Semih very sensibly diverting. He's going to take the large ramp as opposed to the small one, and he's going to engage across the flat ground rather than taking that severely disadvantaged position. It does take a little bit longer, but his advantage is not going to be too badly mitigated during that time. But dOTY coming out to meet him might be able to snipe off the shuttle. Semih often lets that shuttle get a bit too far ahead of himself, but dropping them down in decent time, he might get some decent scarabs off it. Oh, some huge scarabs going off from the Dragoons. 1 Reaver gets sniped out, however, some slightly dodgy shuttle micro right there for Semih, and dOTY could have enough here. He's moving in all over these Dragoons, and Semih might be forced back here. His Reaver has been unable to shoot for a long time, hitting a Reaver Dragoon right on the edge as well. Oh, the shuttle could go down here. The Reaver drops. dOTY should definitely pull back right now. He could take some horrible scarabs at this point. Oh, massive scarab in the middle of all these Dragoons. The shuttle gets taken down, but dOTY...
Yeah, let's get him!
Oh no, dOTY, just when he looked to definitely have it, actually loses a lot of his units. I think he's going to be alright though, because his economy is still in a superior position. He has 1 Reaver left. Will the Reaver be able to clean up these Dragoons? I think the Dragoons are going to be able to have that Reaver pretty much for free. And yes, the Reaver does go down, so dOTY defending by the skin of his teeth right now. He has such a small handful of units with which to deal with this, and Semih pushing across the map with a few Dragoons, but he is finally going to pull back. So he's actually done a decent job there, and that kind of...
Look at the supply counts though. 41 supply for Semih against 79 for dOTY. It's just like, the thing is that expansion was up for so long, and even though it was basically an even trade and dOTY lost like an extra Reaver, that's completely fine because his production is way better than Semih's. Semih needed to take that like convincingly and then push into the natural in order to win. Since it was an even trade, I think he's basically just lost the game now. I mean, just so far behind supply. His natural's only just now finished. And now dOTY's going in for the counterattack. Once again, I do apologize, guys, for all that loud noise. I didn't realize it would be quite so loud. Like, I got a flyer in the mail like a few days ago that was like, yo, dude, we're gonna be setting off fireworks near your house. Just chill.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, that'll be fine.
Given them a flyer saying ISL at this time.
I should just open the window and scream Stormu really loudly and see what happens.
Oh, shuttle! Oh, shuttle! Almost getting sniped up, and the Reaver drops down. Horrible position for that Reaver right now. So far behind enemy lines, the Dragoon's easily able to snipe out the shuttle and the Reaver. So dOTY with a little bit of misstep there. I think this engagement's somewhat premature. He might have the overwhelming force nonetheless. If he'd have kept that shuttle alive, he definitely would have had the overwhelming force. He's going to get all the way into the natural of Semih though, however, and Semih is just forced back and back. dOTY looks like he's going to take this right here, and that supply count difference is going to make all the difference right here. And dOTY just pulling back, taking up a decent position, might be able to snipe out the Nexus. Semih's coming out to try and defend it. I don't know if it's going to be in time, though. The Nexus could go down. dOTY is continuing to focus it. He is committed at this point.
Yeah, Nexus! It's going to be close! Nexus goes down! A lot of Dragoons going down for dOTY, but I think that's going to be absolutely fine. He's reproducing off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gateways plus a robo-pumping Reavers. All he has to do now is defend. And Semih, what can he do? I don't think he should expand now. I think he should actually just go all in. No, he is going to expand. He's going to be playing from so far behind, though. 102 supply for dOTY against 58 supply for Semih. I mean, I guess if he went all in now, it wouldn't win anyway, so he's just going to try and like catch up from ridiculously far behind. But look at this. dOTY already taking a third base down at the bottom right. Even if Semih gets his natural up, it's going to be 2 base against 3. And this is going to be very interesting. I mean, if you know, whoever wins this game is going to be 1 game away from taking the series. It is a best of 7.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that makes for such an intense next game, and possibly a subsequent intense game after that. dOTY is going to have 2 Reavers out of the map. He's got a nice force, 130 supply, while over on the other side of things, Semih with 68 supply with 2 Reavers, but no shuttle to defend them, and only 1 control group of goons against dOTY's. Coming off of 2 control groups of stuff sitting around is natural now. So yeah, this is a fantastic position for dOTY to be in. He's going to have that 3rd base up, pretty much matching the natural expansion timing of Semih. And Semih, yeah, pretty much has no choice except to push out now and try and do some damage, and hope by some miraculous turn of events that he can get a great engagement off in the middle and somehow be incredibly cost effective.
Looks like
as you can probably tell, I'm not convinced.
Sorry. Yeah, I want to point out this random pylon at the 6 o'clock, by the way. This is a very nice move by dOTY. It's kind of like basically a spotting pylon to see any shuttles coming in from there. But anyway, it looks like we might have a big battle in the middle. I think Semih's committed, actually. He can't run back up his narrow ramp. He'll just get stuck. And looks like, here we go. He actually snipes dOTY's shuttle immediately. dOTY with a bit of a mistake there, but it might not even matter. He's got a lot of Zealots coming in to help out, but these 2 Reavers doing massive damage from the back, but is it going to be enough? Getting some sick shots off. The shuttle gets sniped. He's targeting down the Reaver. I think dOTY's going to take it anyway, despite that mistake. He just had overwhelming unit numbers, and Semih is going to have to go into the next game. GG from Semih, and dOTY goes up 3-2 in the series. He is 1 game away from the finals of the ISL3. He will be playing against, or if he wins, he'll be playing against the winner of Ziki against Bibian. Semih's going to need the next 2 games if he wants to go to the finals.
Yeah.
And it is a pretty big deal, guys, because whoever wins the ISL3 gets $1,000. That's right. $1,000 to the winner, I think. Is that right? Damn.
Yeah.
Alright.
Got it.
Just making sure. So,
yeah.
So that's pretty sick. It's pretty sick for a day of StarCraft, or a couple of days.
That is pretty sick, I've got to admit. Those fireworks, man, they're going crazy.
Yeah, dude. It's actually a cover. Like, I'm actually a secret agent. I'm in, like, Bosnia right now, in the middle of some like Eastern European conflict. I'm just casting from a bunker. It's just like, you know, I'm like some super secret spy in the middle of a mission, and just like halfway through, I'm like, yo, Bond, just hold on for a second. I gotta go cast ISL. I'll be right back.
I think that's definitely the case. I'm sure I'm hearing machine gun fire in there as well, man.
That's
you need to get your head down.
Dude, it's alright, man. It's alright. I got my DTs covering me.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Alright, so going into game number 6. Yep, game number 6, and looks like it's gonna be on Fighting Spirit. Alright, back to 4-player maps. Very, very standard map. I didn't even realize it was in the map pool.
No, well, since when is Fighting Spirit not going to be in any map pool? You know, it's just everywhere. Everywhere you look, Fighting Spirit, Fighting Spirit. Spawning in the top left-hand corner on this incredibly familiar map is ISL3 Semih, fighting for his life in this game. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map as the red Protoss is ISL3 dOTY, with a place in the next round within his grasp. And I don't know what dOTY's going to be doing, but I'm a little bit suspicious of his ability to effectively control Reavers after the last game. It looked a little bit fishy, and yeah, I'm not really too keen to rely on that for this match. So possibly he's going to be doing, there you go, waste shuttles in ISL3. Yeah, so possibly something a little bit different from him here.
I mean, I think he's also referencing his round of 8 match against Schnitzel, where he similarly suicided some shuttles of his own. If anyone missed those games, you can check those out on my YouTube channel. The dOTY vs Schnitzel series. Game number 4 in particular was pretty funny. Semih, I don't know how you're getting so many units, man. It's like you're money hacking! dOTY. dOTY getting called out. And looks like he's actually checking the middle here for proxy gates. dOTY this time being the one who's being super safe here. Sending out a pylon scout to the middle of the map, and oh my god, I hope like my apartment doesn't catch fire. This is actually scary.
We all hope that.
I think I should actually look out the window. I might have inadvertently stumbled into a war zone here. Like, they told me it was fireworks, but actually, like, we're under attack from somebody.
Yeah. Well, thank God I'm safe. That's all I can say. Actually, we live pretty close, don't we? Weirdly.
Do we?
I live in Guildford.
You live in a castle somewhere. I don't know where you are. Guys, Elegant lives in a castle.
No.
Don't let him fool you. He's actually like, you know, he was saying all that stuff about the Queen, but he's actually like a prince or something. You're like Aladdin, man. You're a prince.
Okay. That's, yeah, I am a lot like Aladdin. Okay, I'll take that.
Alright.
British Aladdin.
Yeah, dude. And it looks like dOTY's probe's going to go over here now. See that they are in cross positions. Looks like it is... No, it's not going to be Zell first. He's making... No, it is going to be Zell first, right? Yeah, he's going to be Zell first, making the mana pylon, or anti-mana pylon rather, in his own mineral line. Semih is. Whereas dOTY has done the exact same thing, making anti-mana pylon and making it first Zell. So, you know, I gotta say, on a map like Fighting Spirit, a 4-player ramped map, I do prefer going for core first instead of Zealot core Zealot. It's just it's very unlikely that you're going to be facing a 2-gate build on this map, and even if you are, I mean, you know, 2-gate is just suboptimal on these kinds of maps. So I think that's a very fine risk to be taking, and I think it's once again showing how really safe these players are playing.
Suboptimal, by the way, that's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah,
Suboptimal,
yeah, dude,
fantastic.
I love that word too.
Yeah, so the Zealot chase is in full force now, both just kind of running around. dOTY looks like he kind of threatened to send his Zealot out and then was like, nah, actually I'm too worried about this probe, so he's going to head back and try and take care of that probe. And Semih, possibly with the same thought in his head, no, just heading out to block his ramp. He's going to wait for that second Zealot to pop out and try and deal with the probe with that. But yeah, we're seeing no divergence in the builds as of yet. We do have a slightly more advantageous cybernetics core timing for dOTY, but not going to make too much of a difference. His range, his first dragoon is going to be slightly ahead, but it's not going to be too much of a big deal.
Indeed, indeed. And it's interesting because Semih this game doesn't seem to be playing quite as paranoid as he was last game and the game before. He hasn't, like, you know, checked for 12 and the 3 and all those other random locations. But I guess it's fine because, you know, he sees what's going on in the main base. He also had 2 guys on gas for a while, and looks like he actually only just now put his 3rd guy on gas. So that's going to limit him from doing any kind of ultra fast DTs or anything, but as we can see, he's getting range anyway.
Yeah.
So gateway on the way for dOTY. Nothing yet for Semih. He's actually got 300 minerals though. He needs to do something. Is he actually just saving them? Oh no, he made another dragoon. I was going to be like, is he just going to expand? Like 1-gate expand. 1-gate expanding is actually
common, yeah.
It's actually fine, yeah, in PvP. It's kind of a new development in the metagame, I guess. Especially since they're cross positions, I think he could definitely try something like that. But looks like, you know, he's actually gonna. Oh, is he gonna 4-gate?
Yeah, very differently. He's gonna throw down 4-gate, which yeah, he pulled it.
The 4-gate goon all in here. Meanwhile, he's actually sending dragoon to the 12 o'clock. I think this is actually just to make sure there's no probe hiding there. That'll go in later when the dragoon moves out. It's a very common trick to just hide a scouting worker there at like the 3rd base and move it in. Interestingly enough, like it happens in PvT all the time, especially where the Terran hides an SCV there. And interestingly enough, in StarCraft 2, in PvT, a similar situation happens where the Terran hides an SCV at your 3rd and they move into the main base. And one time I actually sent like my first Stalker to go kill it, right? And the guy was just like, "Oh my god, you're such a map hacker, I'm reporting you to Blizzard. How did you find my SCV?" I was like, well, I guess it's because I'm not terrible.
There's nothing more reaffirming than being called a hacker. I mean,
seriously.
Oh, it just makes me feel warm inside, seriously.
Now, this is such an interesting choice from Semih, and by interesting I mean I don't like it. It's cross map, there's a narrow ramp. Like, this is not the best map for 4-gate. Like, if he was gonna 4-gate, he should have done it on the last map, on Match Point. Like, Match Point, great map for 4-gating. Even like Bloody Ridge, you know, fine, great map for 4-gating. We're not as good as Match Point, but still fine. Fighting Spirit, cross positions, it's like the worst 4-gating situation that you can have. It's like there's like any other map, any other positions is better than right now for 4-gating sides. I don't know if it's gonna work. I mean, it could still work because look at this. I mean, the build that dOTY's doing does in theory get kind of hard countered. It's 2-gate obs, so it is kind of getting hard countered by the 4-gate. It's just that as long as dOTY isn't too crazy, although having said that, he's gonna attack now. But if dOTY doesn't overcommit and just like holds the top of his ramp, I think he'll be fine. Unfortunately for him, he's actually going for an attack here, and this is actually going to be horrendous for him because now he's just going to get pummeled. Oh man, I love this move. Semih hiding these units. He's going to flank this army. Oh god.
Will dOTY move away in time? Oh, dOTY actually getting sucked into the natural. How has that happened, dOTY? You do not want to be doing this. He's going to get so outmassed here. Oh, Semih is all over this. He has a massively superior number of dragoons. He might even be able to block the ramp, but the last 2 dragoons of dOTY are going to go down so quickly. What a disastrous engagement. Beautiful move right there from Semih. Really, really good job. And that is how to make a 4-gate work on Fighting Spirit. Just bait your opponent in. Keep him keep him kind of pushing forward, and then just bam, crushing down on top of him like a ton weight. And this is going to be hard for dOTY. I mean, he's condemned to being trapped in his main base once again, so he's pretty much got to go for Reavers at this point. Otherwise, he has no hope of ever breaking out or ever doing any harass. All his Dragoons are taken down, not one of them able to retreat.
He's actually added on 2 more gateways. I did not see a support bait anywhere. It looks like he's just decided he won't have it in time. So he's just going to hold the top of his ramp with mass probes and Dragoons. And here we go. Here's the break-up attempt. But see, this is why it's so hard for a 4-gate on this map. Like, how do you actually break up this ramp? A nice concave with Dragoons at the top. I mean, this is just not ideal. He's going to have 2 Zealots. They can do tank a lot of damage. But look at how many probes dOTY's committing, actually. That is a ton of probes. Although it looks like he just made so many probes anyway that his saturation is even not terrible, despite having all those probes off.
Yeah. That's like his special ability, that's his superpower. He just makes so many probes that you can't harass him enough.
By the way, there's one guy on gas for Semih. That's not good.
Oh,
now he can't
that's
make
not nearly enough.
Yeah, he has to make a Nexus. I think that might have been... I don't know if that's intentional or if he made a mistake, but either way, that's actually going to just stop the attack and make him expand here, which I think is fine anyway, because he's got dOTY contained.
I think that must have been intentional, because it looks so advantageous for him right now. I think that's the right move to be making.
I agree. But, yeah, I'm just thinking, man, dOTY. So dOTY's now contained. He's going up to Reavers finally. He's getting his first Reaver out. But it's even with a Reaver, now a ramp actually works against him. Because now it's going to be so hard for him to leave his base against this nice arc of Dragoons at the bottom with a couple of Zealots even in front to tank. I don't know if he's going to decide to use the Reavers to help bust it, or if he's just going to go for a counter harass. I think a more reliable solution is to just try and bust, like maybe elevator onto the side here and go in from the side and then down the ramp at the same time. But either way, it's a pretty difficult spot now for dOTY.
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunate because he kind of got hard countered in the builds, and then he also made that big mistake with his Dragoons early on.
Yeah, he really did get hard counted. I mean, Semih did a good job of sucking him in. I mean, there's no reason why dOTY would know what was happening, and Semih was just able to just kind of beckon him onto the jaws of death, pretty much. There is a Reaver now out for dOTY, so he can kind of maybe slow walk out to his natural, but it's so easy to snipe off that Reaver before the shuttle is out in support. So I guess he's just going to wait for a shuttle and 2 Reavers in order to really bust out of this, and then he's left with a very, very small timing window. Once again, this seems to be a day of tiny timing windows, but Semih withdrawing, not looking like he's wanting to hold at the natural. If dOTY sees this, then he's going to know that he can just get straight out there. I think that's... Why has Semih done that?
Well, and the observer does see it, and I think it's a very interesting decision. There's several possible reasons. First of all, if you overcommit to the contain and the Reaver does go to your base to harass, you can actually just lose all your probes because you don't have enough units at home. Like, even if you get reinforcing Dragoons from your gateways, 2 Zealots and a Reaver in a shuttle well microed can actually just kill the Dragoons as they spawn. So not only are you losing economy, but you're losing your reinforcements as well. But also, I think he just feels like since his Nexus is already up, he doesn't actually need to hold the contain anymore anyway. So it's better just not to risk it. Better not to risk like you know, missing dOTY doing an elevator and then getting your army flanked and then dying. Better just, you know, stay in the middle of the map, work off of your advantage, and then just play from there. I mean, as you can see, he is not going back too far. He is staying on the other side of this bridge. I do like that. A lot of players will move back onto their side of the bridge and then get kind of contained on the other side here and have Reavers kind of poke up. I prefer, because Semih doesn't have the Reaver tech and dOTY does, you do want to engage in as open a field as possible against the Reaver so you can get a good spread, minimize the splash damage, and, you know, do some good sniping. In the meantime, I also love these spotting pylons to see any Reavers coming into his natural.
Spotting pylons are such a nightmare when you try and get that harass off. I think absolutely spotting pylons are the right way to go right now. He cannot afford to let his lead slip at all. This is, of course, a very, very high pressure game, and now dOTY does manage to snipe off that observer, so he keeps Semih a little bit more in the dark, but Semih sees the force on the way out. It'll be a big engagement right now. Semih doesn't have any Reaver support. Can dOTY make it work this time? He needs to make those Reavers count for every single ounce. The Reavers are tricking out a little bit, and his shuttle flies forward. He's not bringing back the Reavers in time. One of them almost getting picked up.
Oh! The Reaver goes down inside the shuttle. It got picked up at the last second. That was not when it wanted to go in. The second Reaver gets picked off. It looks like Semih is going to take the engagement. dOTY in full retreat now. His own Nexus at his natural. It has started mining, but he's got so few units. Does he have another Reaver coming out? He must have another Reaver. He doesn't have another Reaver. Why does he not have another Reaver here? dOTY has no extra Reaver, but I don't know, is the defender's advantage going to be enough for him? He can try and hold this side of his bridge here, and it looks like Semih's not going to press the issue, and I think that's a good idea. Because, I mean, he's killed both the Reavers and the shuttle. That is such a huge win for him. Now he doesn't have to worry about getting harassed in his main base. He's free to just macro up to his heart's content. Oh, poor dOTY. Getting completely caught there.
Lovely. I mean, the main way in which this could have gone wrong for Semih is quite. It's quite common in PvP to get a little bit overconfident if you win an engagement like that and kind of forget that your opponent still has a decent number of reinforcements with which to hold his natural. So if Semih had pushed on a little bit too impetuously, then he might have ended up in a pretty horrible spot and lost a lot of Dragoons as he tried to push dOTY back through his natural. But he was very, very wise, played it safely, stayed nice and far back, and yeah, just made that pressure really work for him. And now he's happy to just take it further on into the mid-game and the late game, tech up nice and safely, and probably take a third fairly soon as well, but behind a decent number of gateways too. So once again, it's all for dOTY to do right now, and he's been behind pretty much for the entirety of this game. I think he could have done a little bit better with his Reavers though. He didn't get the advantageous engagement position that he might have kind of held out for.
Yeah, and an interesting thing to note is that Semih has skipped Reavers entirely. He got the Robo just to get Observers, and has now got his Citadel up. Is he getting speed? Yeah, he's getting leg speed as well. So he's just going to skip Reavers entirely. And now this is going to be very interesting, because what this means is we might actually see basically dOTY with Reavers as his like high-tech unit, and then Semih with like a few High Templars and Storms as his high-tech unit. And I love seeing that contrast of styles, because I mean, like I always say, like, you know, I think High Templars are better. That's like personally, just because I'm terrible with Reavers, I always opt for you know, speed loss on High Templar. And even in theory, you know, I don't know. I'm of the opinion that it's better to just go for the High Templars, like to do a DT opening and go for those Storms. But I mean, you know, if you go for a Reaver opening, that's obviously fine.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I always feel like the
really
Reaver
cool
benefit's more immediate. You know? Like in an engagement, the Reaver Scarab lands and boom, suddenly a whole bunch of damage done all at once. I always feel it's much more kind of quick and instant at doing the job. I don't know, that's just my perception of it.
Yeah, it really depends on the engagement in the situation. But hold that thought, we are going to have an engagement here, and there's no Templar tech out just yet. For dOTY's speed is not finished either, but the shuttle is not dropping the Reaver, and the Reaver's being dropped in front of everything. Oh my god, the Reaver gets picked off inside the shuttle. dOTY clearly is not the master of Reaver micro. I mean, he's good at making probes, but dude, watch some Stork VODs or something, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that is not good.
I mean, wow, dOTY has just been throwing away Reaver after Reaver in these games. He was right in his assessment at the beginning. I don't quite know how he loses so many shuttles. He's a damn good player. He is really, really good at everything. Apart from that, he just needs to get himself a micro map and just work on that for a few hours. I mean, he'd have it down pretty quickly, I'm sure. He's a competent guy, but yeah, wow, he just seems to be letting these engagements go begging where he could be doing a lot better. I mean, we can see that by the end of that engagement, the Dragoon counts were still quite even. So if the Reaver had survived just a little bit longer, it could have made a huge amount of difference. It could have swung this game round for him. And yeah, he just bins another opportunity.
And you know, this once again goes in favor of my argument. If you don't know how to micro Reavers, go for High Templar, man. Just don't try to make it work. You know, you see all the pro gamers going Reaver every game. Just don't do it, man. Just go for High Templar. Because otherwise it's like you make a Reaver and then you just lose it and you got like one Scarab off. It's just like, oh, that's not worth it at all. I mean, and High Templars, it's like actually much harder to mess up with High Templars. Like, how do you actually mess up with High Templar? You can't. They stay there, and then when you want to storm with them, you just click them and you storm, and then that's it. It's easy peasy. It's easy peasy. Yeah. Even if they die, if you just got one storm off and they die, that's fine. It's completely fine.
Oh. And once again, dOTY coming through the middle of the map. He just wants to engage. He repeatedly wants to engage. He might actually have the army advantage here. I don't know how. His supply count is slightly behind, and he's actually retreating. I don't know if he knows what we know, and it looks like his army might be just maybe superior, but the reinforcements coming from Semih might make just that little tipping point of difference. A few extras out is coming to join things, but the same for dOTY, reinforcing quite quickly. I don't know why supply counts are so even. Semih could have definitely taken better advantage of this, but supply counts are precisely even at this point, and dOTY once again might be able to get a decent engagement position. Semih looking a little bit spread out, a little bit of a conga line right here. He sizes up and actually manages to make a decent job of this, and dOTY gets a good concave though. And will there be Storm coming up from the back from Semih? He did
Storm! Oh, huge Storm getting so many Zealots, and that's what I'm talking about. You see, you can't mess up with Storms, but it doesn't matter. Is it enough? Who has more units? It looks like Semih is going to win the engagement. Once again, half his units though are not attacking. Half of his Dragoons are not attacking. You gotta attack with those Dragoons. Alright, the rest of the Goons do engage, and it looks like he's gonna take it. Oh no, dOTY's getting crushed, and GG! Semih takes game number 6. We are gonna go to a deciding game 7, ladies and gentlemen. It is down to this one game to decide who is going on to the ISL3 finals and who is going to be relegated to the 3rd, 4th place match.
Wow.
Is it going to be dOTY or is it going to be Semih? who will play the winner of Zeke and Bibi Ann next week in the finals. It's down to this one game, guys. It's down to a best of one. I can't believe it. This is actually all that I hoped for from this series. I am so happy here. I was a little bit disappointed from last week's games, but this has more than made up for it.
Yeah, and we were told in advance they were going to be epic, but I was like, maybe not. I'll be the own judge. But yeah, definitely, this is what would qualify as epic. It goes all the way to a deciding game, and we've seen the full gamut of things. We've seen cheese, we've seen standard stuff.
Is this a troll? Wait, Neo Forte?
A troll? Oh, what?
Is this? No, this can't be right. Do I have the wrong map? Wait, there's no way this is right. Hold on. What's the last map supposed to be? No, it is Neo Forte. It says it in the thread. You've got to be shitting me.
Who? Why would you pick this dOTY? What have you got on Neo Forte?
No, wait, dOTY doesn't. It's not loser picks. It's predetermined.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a predetermined map. Well, guys, I don't even know what this map looks like. So hold on. Let me actually just have a look at this. I swear to God, if we just see a dumb game because like neither player knows the map,
then we shout at game. That's who we shout at. We shout at game. It's Neo Forte, man.
This map is like older than Artosis. What? It doesn't even have a natural expansion.
Wow. These guys are both old school players though, so they'll probably know it. You know?
Yeah, they probably will. Like I think Semih especially, but come on, like seriously?
Whoa.
Like we got all the way to a game 7 and it's like on Neo 4. Oh my God, whatever.
Hey, come on now. This is gonna still be good stuff. This is still gonna be good stuff.
Dude, like it's just gonna be like proxy gates because I don't know, one of them's just gonna be like screw it, I don't know, Neo Forte, let's just kill it. Let's just kill him.
Well, the proxy gates can still be good. We've seen that.
Alright,
let's do it.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, game number 7 on Neo Forte, dOTY versus Semih. It is 3-3. Who's gonna make it to the finals? Here we go.
Yeah. Wow. Awesome. So whoa, my eyes.
Look, how many mineral patches are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's too many mineral patches. They don't even. It's not even a reduced mineral patch. Like Outsider has 10 patches, but one of them only has 500 minerals.
There's no natural, and you have a bazillion mineral patches in your main.
Look, look. Wait, who is proxying? dOTY's proxying. I told you he would proxy because it's like Neo Forte. What the fuck is Neo Forte? I told you he's gonna proxy. Oh, and he doesn't even know where to proxy because he doesn't know the map. He's like looking around. He's like, wait, where do I actually make my gateways now? Look, he's actually not even going to make gateways now because he can't figure out where to make them. He's going to run this probe around like an idiot, be like, oh my God, what do I do? Look, he's building a second probe. He's just
probe scout.
You know what he's doing? He's just trying to get map vision. He's like, all right, I need to actually figure out what this map looks like. Let me just send my probes out. Oh God, oh, this is horrible. This is horrible. This is so horrible that I just like exploded my overlay program. It doesn't even work anymore. Shit.
Exploded it. Very nice. Wow, this is wild. And this tile set makes me dizzy. I swear to God, I've never seen anything like it. And there's no room in the main. What are you supposed to do with this? For all I know, it might actually be unbuildable, and you can't even do absolutely anything. So proxy gates is the only way forward. But dOTY's going to get the scout, and the second probe is now heading towards the bottom left-hand corner as well. So does he have a plan for this? Is there an overarching sort of idea behind this? Either way, though.
Is he cannon rushing? Is he cannon rushing? Is he cannon rushing?
Oh no!
His probe's on the wrong side! No. I think he's trying to cannon rush and his probe's on the wrong side!
No!
Oh my God, he's got a second probe though! He's going in with a second probe, like screw the overlay man, he's going in with a second probe! What? He's gotta be cannon rushing, but it's not actually tight. You can't cannon rush because it's not tight. What the fuck?
What is happening?
Look! 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 He doesn't know the map! We're actually gonna get the stupidest Game 7 ever because, oh my God! I am so mad oh my God, I'm so mad. I actually don't even want to watch this game anymore.
You're equally as mad as dOTY, I would imagine. He says it all.
He literally he's not gonna make the finals because this map is fucktarded. Like, oh my God.
I like how Game has literally run away. He left about half an hour ago. I think he knew what was going to happen. He was like, yeah, I have to be somewhere right now.
This is like, this is so dumb.
Oh, about a pylon. No. Oh, yeah, Semih looks like he's trying to get the mana pylon. Yeah, this opening has been pretty, I'm not going to lie, pretty incredibly horrible for dOTY. First of all, he sends out 2 probes, then he makes a pylon, cancels the pylon, has incredibly late gateways. I do not know what is happening. And
This
dOTY
is a sad way to go out. This is such a stupid way to go out. Oh my god. They should actually just regame, I think, on a map that makes sense. They should actually just both leave and just regame on a non-retarded map.
Yeah, I mean, I've never even heard of this map before. I'm a relatively new player by map overall standards. I did not know this map existed. When is it from? Like 95 or some crap?
It's from the Stone Age. Back before like the internet was invented, and people were like, you know, in the future they're gonna have this thing called the internet, and they're gonna make a game that you can play on it called StarCraft. And so what we should do right now is we should make this thing called a map that is gonna just ruin an entire tournament, so that we control them in the future.
Wow. Yeah, this is definitely predating StarCraft. This map doesn't work on any level. And we have an expansion happening from dOTY. I don't know what's a good idea anymore. Is that a good idea? It can't be.
He has to take a huge risk to come back in this game, so
yeah.
I mean, you know, you gotta do something. Interesting.
Can he block that?
Semih's got gas, but he's not mining it, because I think he scouted it, so he's just gonna go for some huge zealot aggression. And yeah, that is a good question. It's a pretty wide choke there in that weird mineral thingamajig.
Yeah.
I wonder if he can actually like make a pylon and a forge to make it really narrow, and then cannon behind it. That'd be quite cool.
Oh, maybe.
But it looks like he hasn't thought of that.
Oh, the zealot aggression coming in now from Semih. dOTY actually gets a decent enough starting position. He might be able to see this off. He is going to be overwhelmed in a second though in terms of numbers, but his micro is good to start off the proceedings right here. Just taking a look at his gateways now. He is pumping zealots, so his defender's advantage is going to count. And he's going to have even zealot numbers right here if he can bring his reinforcements up quickly enough. He has a probe in there as well, so he might just have the defender's edge. He gets a good position in as well, so Semih would do well to pull back and reposition right now because dOTY's zealot micro is good. He manages to take down one of Semih's zealots nice early on. A pylon happening now too to try and confuse things a little bit. Fantastic job by dOTY. Wow, what incredible micro. He takes that by storm. And is left with a significant zealot advantage. An even number of zealots at least, with Semih's reinforcements coming up faster, but that goes some way towards actually undoing the damage that was done in the early game, and he's going to have a very, very advantageous engagement here once again. And I am dead impressed by what dOTY was just able to pull out of the bag when he was facing down against a real problem. Oh, managing to snipe out another zealot there. He actually turned it around with some superb zealot positioning and micro, and saw Semih off, so his expansion is going to be slightly ahead of Semih's right now, and that's going to leave them in actually pretty similar positions, not to mention a supply advantage too for dOTY. What are we seeing here?
Yeah, I mean, this is why dOTY is known for his zealot micro, just really showcasing it there. The problem is, though, he hasn't even taken his gas yet, and the cybernetic score is almost finished for Semih, so he's so far behind in tech. If he can't do any damage with these zealots, he could be in some serious trouble from like a DT or a Reaver counterattack, or basically any kind of techie counterattack.
Yeah.
But will he be able to do damage here? I don't know. He's got to be careful not to let any zealots get trapped here. There's this weird mineral formation outside. He's waiting for more reinforcing zealots, and now, you know, now that they're on Semih's side of the map, Semih does have the defender's advantage. He's also got 2 Dragoons on the way. I think Semih, or dOTY rather, probably wants to go in before those Dragoons actually get out, so he's got basically another 30 seconds or so. And here we go, he's going in. It's very difficult to micro well in these kinds of huge zealot engagements, but here we go. Both players microing their heart out. Looks like dOTY is taking the advantage. Reinforcements coming in for Semih, but 50 supply for dOTY against just 38 for Semih. Semih actually banking a lot of minerals right now, failing on his macro while trying to not die to these zealots. dOTY moving. I think dOTY might even want to send one weak zealot to go start harassing some probes or something. Looks like he's going to start attacking this random gateway that got built. It's like attacking a pylon for some reason. Semih invested a lot of money in infrastructure at the natural. Semih actually doesn't have enough zealots here. The Nexus is being targeted. No, looks like it's just to force the zealots into an engagement here. Very nice moves from dOTY. dOTY could actually take this game. Yet he's got his gas started, he's got his cybernetic score started. He's forgotten to put guys to mine gas though, and the Dragoons are out already.
Yeah, but dOTY, he still has an incredible Zealot advantage. He can still hold out against a decent number of Dragoons, and definitely the Nexus is going to go down. No question about it. He can get that if he chooses Sniper, which he will. Just making sure he doesn't take too many casualties. He gets the Nexus. dOTY doing an incredible job with this. He still has more Zealots coming in. He might be able to get a decent position on Semih's units as well right now. He could be able to take out the Dragoons. The probes are in there and fighting. dOTY with incredible positioning. He's taking down what there is left of Semih Sports. This is absolutely incredible stuff here. dOTY with some marvelous micro going through the mid stages of this game. He might even be able to take out another Dragoon before the day is done. He might be able to get, yes, he does get another one. The probe's going down now too. Semih is somehow in a whole load of trouble. What's he following up with? He's got 3 gateways up and running, but so has dOTY. I don't know if dOTY's Dragoon range upgrade is finished yet. I would bet it probably hasn't, but he's going up Semih's ramp. Semih is forced to pull so many of his probes out to block that ramp out to his natural, and this is crazy stuff. dOTY could have this right here. Semih is defending desperately right back in his main base.
Man, I think Semih actually wants to crawl into a hole and die right now, because he was gifted this game. This game literally on a silver platter. dOTY was like, here, go ahead and get a free ride to the finals, you know? And then Semih was like, oh, okay. And then he tries to take the silver platter, and his hand slips, and like the platter falls on the floor and just shatters. And now he's not going to make the finals. dOTY actually just, with pure Zealot control, is actually going to take dOTY out, or take Semih out rather, despite being at a huge disadvantage, a monumental disadvantage. I literally cannot express how screwed dOTY was in the beginning of the game. Like, this was like, I don't know, like a Zerg going 4-pool and forgetting to make his spawning pool and just like being on 4 drones, and that's it for the whole game. Like, that is basically what just happened to dOTY, and yet he's still going to win this game. It's just like, oh my god. It's horrible.
Well, but for a game that threatened to be the worst game of the tournament, this couldn't have turned out much better in terms of, you know, goodness, because this is kind of as interesting as the game could possibly have been, given that it's on bloody Neo.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, mad props to dOTY. dOTY actually just single-handedly saved this. I mean, I was seriously rooting for him to win after seeing that opening, but and then now he's actually shown that he really deserves it. Like, dOTY actually deserves this now. The problem is he actually going to live through this? Because that's a lot of Dragoons coming in. He's got 3 cannons, another one making. His Dragoon range is not done, but Semih's is done. I think he has to pull probes. I think dOTY should really be pulling probes right now. Because if he doesn't die to this, he will win the game. He actually just needs to bring some probes. Although it looks like he might not even need to. He's just going to try and do it with his pure units alone. 2 Zealots actually coming in from the top, getting a flank attack, and actually dOTY is going to hold without a single probe pulled here. Wow. And the 3rd cannon is going to finish here. He's going to build another cannon just to be safe, but I don't think there's any way for Semih to do this. I mean, he's going to try and be fancy and pick off some cannons with these Dragoons. It is going to be possible, but is he going to lose 1 Dragoon? He's going to lose 1 Dragoon. He might lose a second one here as well, but the thing is, dOTY's flooding in more units. And GG from Semih! dOTY makes it to the finals! dOTY has gone through to the finals in a ridiculous Game 7 here. What a series, ladies and gentlemen. dOTY has proven that he absolutely deserves that win, trying to do a cannon rush on a map that apparently it's not actually possible on, getting completely fended off, and yet going through with superior Zealot control alone. dOTY is your finalist, ladies and gentlemen. Semih will be playing in the 3rd, 4th place match.
Yeah, the very much deserving finalists. Those today were mostly incredible games, and then that final game, just when it seemed to be all lost, all hope down the pan, dOTY just comes out with this incredible win. I don't even know how he did it. I would have bet so much against him doing so, but wow, fantastic performance by him. Fantastic performance by Semih as well, not to take away from him, but just dOTY was an incredible competitor right there.
Man, I am so happy for dOTY right now. And by the way, to all you guys saying Zeke is going to 4-0 him, screw you guys. Guys, dOTY took out Ace, took out Karate, he took out some other Zerg that I can't remember. Guys, dOTY's been mauling Zergs on his way up here.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I am so glad he got through.
Yeah. I'm going to do a quick shout out to the sponsors right now, because it seems like a good time to do that. So, for anyone and everyone who is watching this incredible stuff today, I would like you to direct your gratitude towards these people, who are, of course, Sales viewers, Nay, Shotcoder, i.e. Noise, Prowler, Nabopolis, Ruskig, Trap, and of course Altitude, after whom our tournament is named the Altitude ISL. And if you go to altitudeisl.net and keep up to date with everything in the tournament, and link straight to altitudegame.net where you can play that fantastic game and show your gratitude, because without them, we wouldn't have had this incredible set of games today.
Indeed, indeed. And with that, I'll also play the commercial one more time. Alright, so thank you ladies and gentlemen once again. This has been the ISL3 semifinals brought to you by Elegant and myself, Sayle. If you missed any of the games today, I will be uploading them to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/SayleBW, and of course they will also be available on altitudeisl.net. Please go check that out. And the other semifinal, Ziki vs Vivian, will be casted tomorrow by Hacklebeast and Bakuryu, along with all of the rest of the tiebreakers to determine who's going to finish in the 5th through 8th place positions. So yeah, tomorrow at 19 CET on Hacklebeast stream. Do check that out. It is calendared. And now